Hi guys, welcome back to Medico Pharma lecture once again. Today is the last lecture on route of drug administration, where we are going to complete remaining parts of parenteral and some miscellaneous route of drug administration. Okay, so the first of all we are going to see intradermal injection. Okay, coming to definition, it is an injection given into dermal layer of the skin, that is corneum. Okay, now we will see few examples of intradermal injections. Okay, so first of all is tuberculin test, okay, which is carried out for tuberculosis diagnosis. Second one is BCG vaccine. Okay, now there are few notes regarding intradermal injection. The first one is very small quantity of drug can be injected or given at a time. Okay, then it is often used for test for allergic reactions and antibody formation. The useful site is anterior forearm for this route of drug administration. Okay, now coming to the angle of injection, it should be almost parallel to skin. Okay, so this is a diagram of skin showing various layers. Okay, so this layer is dermal layer, this is subcutaneous layer, this one is muscular layer, this is epidermis or epidermal layer. Here is one injection given almost parallel to skin and it is about 10 to 15 degree. Okay, so this is all about intradermal injection. Now we will discuss about intra-arterial injections. Okay, injection introduced into artery are called as intra-arterial injections. Okay, so these injections are rarely used nowadays. Okay, so few examples are like this. Anti-cancer drugs are given for localized defect through this route. Okay, drugs used for diagnosis of peripheral vascular disease. Okay, next one is vasodilator drugs in treatment of vasospasm. Thrombolytic drugs for treatment of embolism. Okay, so these drugs are mainly for local action. Okay, they are also used for angiography, that is taking image of blood vessels. Now we will discuss about intraperitoneal injections. Okay, so here the drug is injected through the abdominal walls into the peritoneal cavity. Okay, so this route is very rapid but not as rapid as intravenous route. Okay, so what is peritoneal cavity? So peritoneal cavity is the space between two membranes that separate the organs in the abdominal cavity from the abdominal wall. Okay, so it is most common route for administering drug to the animals. Okay, so first pass metabolism, adhesion, peritonitis, infection, injury are common drawbacks of this route. Okay, now the examples for this route is mipyramine or cetirizine, dexamethasone. Okay, now we will discuss about intra-articular injection. Okay, so they are also called as joint injection. Okay, so it is used in the treatment of inflammatory joint conditions such as rheumatoid arthritis, then gout, tendinitis, and occasionally osteoarthritis. Okay, it is typically given when a pain has not responded to NSAID or physical therapy. So examples for this route is local anesthetics and hyaluronic acid. Okay, now coming to intracardiac injection. So as its name suggests, intracardiac injections are those injections which are directly given to heart muscles or ventricles during emergency conditions. Okay, so remember, this is only for emergency condition. Examples are adrenaline injection. Okay, so this is all about intracardiac injection. Now coming to intrathecal or intraspinal injections. Okay, so injection given into a spinal canal or into the subarachnoid space so that it reaches the CSF, cerebrospinal fluid, and are useful in spinal anesthesia, chemotherapy, or pain management. Examples for these routes are intrathecal baclofen therapy, then methotrexate, then hydrocortisone, then thiotepa. Now we will discuss about intramedullary injection. So here drug is injected in bone marrow of bones such as sternum or tibia. Okay, so this route is mainly used for bone marrow transplantation and for blood transfusion in children where it is very difficult to find out a vein. Okay, so in that situation we are going to use intramedullary injection. Now we will discuss about epidural or peridural injection or infusion. Okay, so injection or infusion administered into epidural space of central nervous system is called as epidural injection or peridural injection or infusion. Okay, example is epidural anesthesia. Okay, so these routes are rarely used. Now we will discuss about intracerebral injection. So these are the injections which are directly given into the cerebrum of brain. Okay, so they are used in experimental research. Okay, and they are also used in treatment of malignancies of the brain. Okay, so this is all about intracerebral injection. Now we will see intracerebroventricular injection. Okay, so here drug is administered into ventricular system of the brain. So example is
The last line of opioid treatment. Last line of opioid treatment for terminal cancer. Terminal cancer patient with intractable cancer pain. Okay. So in this scenario, we are going to use intracerebroventricular injection. These all injections are rarely used. Okay. Now another one is extra-amniotic administration. So drug administered between the endometrium and fetal membranes inside uterus of a pregnant woman. Okay. So examples of these routes are prostaglandin E2, that is PGE2, and PGF2 for abortion, then prostaglandin and oxytocin for labor induction. Okay. So this is all about extra-amniotic administration. Also this is a rare injection. Okay. Now intracavernous injection, this is also rare. Okay. So injection given to the base of penis, especially in cavernous vein, is called as intracavernous injection. So generally this is given to cavernous vein of the penis. Okay. This is also a rare injection, we don't use frequently. Now coming to intravitreal injection. Okay. So administration of a medicine directly into vitreous cavity of eye by a trained retina specialist is called as intravitreal injection. So this is used to treat variety of retinal conditions. Okay. Diabetes retinopathy, retinal vein occlusion, etc. Okay. So very small volume of drug is injected through this route. Okay. Examples are anti-VEGF drugs, antimicrobials. Next one is steroids, which reduces inflammation. Okay. So these are the drugs which can be given through intravitreal injection. Now we will discuss about intrasynovial route. Okay. So the administration of a drug within the synovial cavity of a joint by help of injection is called as intrasynovial route of injection. Okay. So these all are rarely used. Now the last one is intra-sternal route. Okay. So injection of a medicinal product into the bone marrow of the sternum is called as intrasternal route. Okay. It is given to sternum bone. Okay. With these, parenteral routes are over. Okay. Now we will discuss about miscellaneous route of drug administration. Okay. These routes are rarely used nowadays. Okay. Now coming to intracynial route of drug administration. Okay. So the drug administration within the nasal or periorbital sinuses are called as intracynial route of drug administration. Okay. So this is a local route of drug administration. Okay. It comes under local route of drug administration. Now another one is intraprostatic route. Okay. So its name suggests it is for prostatic gland. Okay, so administration of drug within prostate gland is called as intraprostatic route of drug administration. Okay, so it is also a local route, and for this a curved needle is used. Okay, so examples of drugs are ethanol injection or various chemotherapeutic agents. Okay, this is all about intraprostatic route. Now coming to intrapleural route. Okay, so administration of a drug into pleural cavity is called as intrapleural route. Okay, so the intrapleural drug administration usually results in both local or systemic drug action. Okay, in both local and systemic drug action. Now coming to perivascular administration. Perivascular medical devices and perivascular drug delivery systems and perivascular drug delivery systems are conceived for local application around blood vessels during open vascular surgery. Okay, so this is all about perivascular administration. Okay, now we will see how a route of drug administration is determined. It means how we are going to select a route of drug administration. So the first point is the physical and chemical properties of a drug. Okay, so it includes solubility, pH, irritability, stability, solid or liquid, etc. Okay, the second point is site of desired action. It means whether we want localized action or generalized action. Okay, generalized means systemic action. Okay, the third point is rate and extent of absorption from various route. Suppose if we want fast rate of absorption or full drug absorption, then we should try intravenous route. Okay, if we want slow, then we can choose oral route. Okay, then next point is effect of digestive juice and first pass effect. It means whether our drug is going to get destroyed by digestive juice or whether the drug has maximum first pass effect. Okay, next one is rapidity of desired response, whether we want the response for emergency condition or it is for routine checkup. Now next one is dose accuracy. Then the last one is patient condition, whether the patient is unconscious or conscious or whether it is vomiting or having diarrhea or other type of problems. Okay, with this we came to the end of this lecture. Thanks for watching us. Kindly subscribe our channel. Please press bell icon and provide your feedbacks for further improvement. We'll come back soon with another lecture.